Uh, hello. Hello, hello. Let's play some music. Will it be too loud, too quiet? I'm not sure because I started with a song very quiet at the start, which makes it very difficult to tell if the audio levels are acceptable. Hello. Hello, it's me, Bug. Bug. Okay, it's real quiet, but it's fine. It's fine. It'll probably pick up. If it doesn't, I'll adjust it later. Oh, you think you're funny with a fucking Gabo redeem, do ya? Do ya? Do ya? Ooh. There's your fucking Gabo. I woke up from a nap about 15 minutes ago, so I'm still waking up. Okay, it's real quiet. I should probably turn it up. Why did I choose an orchestral backing? It's never gonna work out. But that's fine. Who gives a shit? Let's see. Niley, howdy, Baxter, hello. Yoshi Horse, hello. Cozy Beef, hello. Lockadova, hello. Bill Nye, hello. Niley, thank you for giving us out. Lockadova, hello. Doinks, hello. Cornivius, hello. Mohop, hello. Young Slav, 12 months of slaving on my Nov. Thank you. Let's see. Aksaka, hello. And I think that's everyone. If I missed anybody, sorry. I'm just gonna turn this here, and then it's gonna get too loud, and it's fine. I'll fix it later. Okay. Yeah, I got to my nap a little late, so I am a little disheveled, so I have to decide what we should start with. I guess. Oh!
You're gonna regret this.
Demon Fang!
Demon Fang.
I must be a genius.
Double Demon Fang. I feel like the clip didn't play as much as it should have, but that's okay. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Oh, it's getting too loud now. If anybody can guess the soundtrack that is playing before the song changes, I'll give you 5 bugs of a variety of bugs. Did I say thank you for the 5 subs, Niley? Thank you for the 5 subs, Niley. Oh, it got quiet again. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Let's see. Maybe. Let's start with watching the first stream, which will give me time to wake up. I'm gonna move over here.
The journey to face your soul.
So now thank you for
here.
gifting a sub to Isaac V93. Hello, Onairo. Right, so I'm over here. So I need to add a window capture. I want a window capture. What I don't understand is why OBS insists on showing window capture before you've selected your window, it makes it very stressful not knowing what the first window it's going to choose is. In this case, it chose my music player. Let's see. I want this. Why? Okay, that's fine, I guess. Wait, why is it not showing right thing? It's showing my OBS now. It just really should not be. Okay. What I'll do is... Oh, thank you for the bits, Cornevius. Okay, I'm just gonna add it as a VLC source, I guess. That will probably work, right? But then it's hard to pause. Maybe I'll just open it in VLC. I wanted to figure this out beforehand, but then I had to work longer than I thought I would. Hang in there, everybody. We'll get to it. Okay. Let's see if it will capture VLC properly. I think so, maybe? It looks like it's gonna show the other VLC stuff, but that's okay, as long as it plays the video, which it doesn't. Okay, 1 second while I figure this shit out. Capture specific window, VLC. That should do it. Goodbye, Cornevius, and good luck driving to the moon. Okay, I'm gonna delete that and do that. Alright, this should do it. Okay, I'm gonna pause the music and we're gonna watch this shit. And it will be painful for us all. Let's see. No, okay, I'm not gonna full screen it. Alright, I'm gonna skip the little opening because this is the same video we just watched.
Gives us a
Oh yeah, okay, so after the bug video played for a bit, I switched to the, oh fuck, there she is, fuck. Yeah, this is, Eyewitness Investigations, or whatever the fuck that show you watched in your classroom was. There she is. She's watching things. Anaira, thank you for another sub! Oh my god, the Double Demon Fang is playing, but it was below everything. I should maybe move this here so things play on top. Why did it play Double Demon Fang for 2 subs? Maybe it plays for more than 1. Eyewitness Monster.
A monster is a distinctive creature.
Here's where I was still on webcam tracking. So you'll see the eyes bugging out more than they do now, but they still bug out sometimes because of my glasses. Komako 881, hello.
But what makes a
Or
monster?
Komako underscore 881. So when I was doing the whole debut thing, as they call it for some reason, even though I'm far from an idol, I was incredibly nervous. And so the joke here was I was gonna watch this video until it showed the millipede on the screen. But The millipede doesn't show up until like 2 fucking minutes into the
The
video.
world's largest millipede
See, there it
is
is.
slightly longer than the
There it is. So I was just sitting there for 2 minutes incredibly nervous as chat said things. And then I finally got to execute on the joke. Then I appear to be struggling some with OBS here. I think the joke is I'm gonna screen transition to grass and then I'm gonna appear. Yep, there I am. Look how fucking grumpy I look. Oh my god, it's so quiet.
Can you hear me? Welcome to my home. I cleaned up a little bit before everybody arrived. Sorry it took a little while.
They sound so fucking nervous. Oh my god, the music. That's way too loud. What is this generic jazz music I'm playing?
It sounds terrible. Okay, turn the music down a little.
This is a nightmare. Why do people do this? This is worse than I thought it would be.
Alright. Sounding good? Alright. How's everybody doing today?
Okay, I'll turn it up some more.
What you doing?
This is also the moment where many people's
I was nervous that
hopes and dreams were crushed as I did not have a hot girl voice.
Sparkling water. So hopefully that's enough to keep my voice going.
This is also when I was
like the
following
bold flavor of
the,
ginger ale. It's like Canada Dry bold.
the sparkling water meta
But
instead of the tea
it's
meta to keep my voice
It's not
alive.
very bold. I took a sip and it didn't knock my lights out. I'm still going. I'm a little
Here
bit
I'm
sad,
talking about ginger ale.
but I guess I can deal with normal ginger ale. I
love the
prepared a
fucking
slideshow
build
for
up
everybody,
to the
to
stream and then I
introduce
just
myself.
talk about
I can
ginger
do
ale.
that. Let me
Rock
pull it
girl
up here.
voice. Where did I find this generic jazz music to play?
All right. Here's my slideshow. Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it
Yep.
while I talk here. Because this fucking slideshow gag was way more work than it was supposed to be. Because I had to, like, I was like, oh, installing Windows 3.1 in a virtual machine probably isn't a big deal. And it wasn't, but then it was all fucking glitchy. So I had to sort that out. I spent a couple hours sorting out issues there. And then I was like, oh, I'll just install Microsoft Office now. So I had to find Microsoft Office, and it was spread across, like, I want to say 5 fucking floppy disks. So I had to install that, and then finally I could work on the actual PowerPoint. So I hope the gag was fucking worth it, fuckers.
Feel free to take your shoes off. You don't really need them out here.
Also, I felt like I was gonna
not that
cry
I
the
would
whole
weird.
stream out of
That'd be
nervousness.
weird.
I was like shaking. It was bad.
Nope. All right. Hi, what's up? Here I am. Here I am. I'm a bug. I'm a millipede. Some people keep saying I'm a centipede VTuber. I don't
How's it
know what's
going?
up with
Hello.
that.
I'm gonna
Very obviously
turn it up.
millipede. I put in a little slide to
This
clear
was
that up,
7/14/2021.
You'll understand by the end of the presentation. Yes, in this
Exactly a
house,
year ago.
Okay, so about me.
It was also a pain in the ass trying to
Here I
get
am.
the fucking
Wonderful picture of it.
bitmap images into Windows.
You know, people seem to like to know my.
I had to make them incredibly small for them to
heights. I don't really know
fit
what to
on
do
a
with that
floppy disk and
information,
not
but,
immediately crash the virtual machine.
I'm 16 segments long. It varies each molting cycle, but right now 16 segments.
I'm also just flinging my mouse around a lot because I'm nervous and don't know what to
I
do.
don't really understand metric units or imperial units, but I've been told I weigh about as much as 3 apples. So
That was a Hello Kitty joke.
do you need that information for anything? I'm always a little confused when I see this on slides. I also
So I
listed
think
out some
VTuber
information
debuts
about my
kind of
body.
suck most of the time. So I wanted to
So
do a joke
people know
debut,
how big
kind
the
of.
boob are,
Um,
and honestly, I don't.
I
really need
don't
to know how
understand
big
why
the boob are on a
people
bug.
sit there with the
It's-
slideshow and are
it's a little
like, I'm
concerning that you wanna know about bugs.
163.5 centimeters tall.
Sizway, I'm sorry you keep
Um,
being banned. I'll try to figure out how Nightbot works.
Sizway was
eventually.
getting banned by
It
Nightbot,
doesn't
left
make
and
any
right
sense to me.
for
I don't
horny
know how Twitch
comments.
works.
supposedly.
Sizway, I'm sorry. Age, 2 weeks, but that's bug years. It's kind of like dog years, but it's for bugs. So, you know, do the math. You can figure it out. And again, important point down at the bottom here. I'm a millipede, not a centipede. As you can see,
Thank God I
by
didn't try to
my
pronounce the
body,
species.
legs, etc. There's just not really.
Rock
anything
wasn't
about me
very
that's a
memorable.
centipede.
What the fuck?
Centipedes also don't have parasols. Just so if you see a long bug-like creature with a parasol, keep in mind. The bug year conversion, you can Google it. You can figure it out. So like I was
Okay,
saying,
very important
millipedes
slide
and
here.
Centipedes are very different creatures. Millipedes, we have more legs. They're bunched together, usually in like 2s or 4s, and they're a little bit shorter legs. Whereas the horrible centipede you'll see on the right here, the legs are more separated out. They're longer.
You know, I feel
Centipedes
like this
bite
is
you
still a
if
very obvious
they have
thing.
Venom, it'll hurt. You don't want that.
Am I gonna have
I
to
will
just
bite
like
you
have a
most of the time.
JPEG scene in
Nightbot
OBS to
will,
pull up when
apparently.
someone calls me a
I'm sorry
centipede?
about Nightbot.
Sizway is still
But,
getting sniped here.
Last important note: I'm a millipede. On the right is a centipede, and neither of us are caterpillars. Caterpillars become butterflies. I'm not going to become a butterfly. I'm sorry. I'm a
Most
molt,
centipedes
but
are venomous, yes.
a little bit about my parents.
There's Ricky.bmp.
I learned from The Fast and the Furious, starring Vin Diesel, that family is very important. So I thought I would include this slide here.
Was the
just-
family
just has
meme really a
information
fucking year
about
ago?
them. My papa is Plan. As far as I know, he doesn't have a Twitch channel, but if you go to my Twitter, which you can find with
I guess, yeah, I
the
mean,
socials command,
Fast Whatever probably
then
came out a year
you can
ago.
find his
Your
Twitter
plus.
in my bio. You can check out all the insect girls he draws. I think he also streams on YouTube.
I think if you did like a voice
And
analysis
my dad
on
here
my
is Ricky. She's in the chat here. I believe.
voice
Shout out
analysis on
to
my
Ricky.
voice, you would see it
So you
wavering
can
constantly
use the
in this
shout-out
stream.
command. Look at that.
Good
it
jazz
worked.
though.
I didn't know how to say what game she was playing, so if you're playing basketball, I'm sorry, Ricky, I couldn't figure it out. Check out Ricky on Twitch if you haven't already. She streams real good. Last stream, I think she was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. and it was a normal stream. I
I
really
sound
enjoyed
different.
the normal stream.
I sound different here.
Ricky is always very normal. Check her out. And here's where I talk about myself some more, because family's important, but the things I like are also very important. So as you might guess, as a VTuber, I like to play the video game. I play a lot of the video.
Yeah,
games.
I'm stronger
I
now.
like JRPGs. I've been playing the.
I haven't
Tales of the
watched
Sky
this
series lately.
ever,
You
I
should
don't
check those
think.
out if you haven't played them. It's
Like
a
I
lot of
didn't
fun.
even watch it after it happened.
Not to be confused with the Tales series, which I also like, but they're very different games that are named very similarly.
Oh, Detective Conan is in a different
I play a lot of rhythm
spot.
games. This Sunday, I think it is, I'll be playing some Sound Voltex, so if you want to check that out, you can see me play a rhythm game. I like them
But
a lot
yeah, I
because
think
they're
I've
one of the few
gotten
games where I can use all of my
More
different
confident
legs.
in streaming
There are
since
a lot of
then.
different
I'm not a
buttons,
constant nervous wreck, at
and
least.
It feels good to
Only like
to have a
half the
controller
time.
where I can just go to town with my legs, you know? You can see they're wiggling around here, just ready to go, and I'd really like to get them moving.
I'm sorry.
Beyond
Happy 1
Fall,
million
thank
years,
you for the bits and welcome.
Yes, they do make controllers for millipedes. Contrary to popular belief, you don't even have to commission them. You can just like show up at a Walmart, and they'll be a little freaked out with all the moving legs and stuff. But if
This
you
is
pay
also
them,
how I
they'll
did
make you
every
control.
presentation in school.
can
I would just
barely
put things
reach
on a
out.
PowerPoint and hope to God that I can improv the rest of it. And usually it worked out.
Well, it didn't work, so I'll just squint. Yeah, you know, go to the bug counter of Walmart.
I don't know
They-
what
they have
the joke
everything
here
there.
is.
All of your bug needs.
Oh.
Oh no, I pressed advance on the slideshow. Let's go back. Yeah, I love reading manga. I read a lot of shoujo manga and a lot of yuri manga. Lately I've been reading Kimi ni Todoke, and I just finished Daytime Shooting Star. Those are some fun shoujo manga that will make you tear up a little bit if
I still
if
haven't
you
finished Kimi ni Todoke. Some things will never change.
Yeah, that's true. I can't move on without talking about Conan. It's a very important part of my personality, as you can see by the increased font size here. Interesting bad movies I've seen recently. Over at my brother's house, we watched.
I don't know how much I've talked
my
about
bug
Detective
brother,
Conan here,
also
but
we watched a movie called Cyborg Cop,
it's real long.
which is
I
about
don't
a
really
pair of
recommend anyone
DEA
try to watch it.
agents
But
who
if you're
are
like
loose
horribly
cannons,
depressed
as they say,
and in school
DEA,
and
I
have
think
like
they say
5
that
years
there.
of school left,
And one of them
that's a good time to watch
goes
Detective
on a
Conan.
dangerous mission and gets turned into none other than a cyborg cop. And the other brother is
watched
forced to go
A whole lot of Detective
into
Conan.
whatever country they're in. It seemed like kind of a racist portrayal of an island, and then save his brother, the cyborg.
Here I'm trying to recite
But
the plot of the
spoilers, At the end of the
movie.
movie, he does not actually save the cyborg cop. The cyborg cop gets electrocuted, and that's,
Yes, I started
pretty
watching
much the end.
Conan,
The guy
I
gets
think because I
married,
was like,
the-
oh, you know,
the kid
I should
that the
watch
cyborg cop was adopting.
a shonen anime, but I don't want to watch one of the ones
Cyborg
everyone
dad is no
watches.
more. It's very tragic.
And for some fucking reason, I chose Detective
So,
Conan.
Yeah, if you want to watch
Terrible
some bad movies
choice, but
sometime,
Now
I
it is
think,
ingrained in my
Amazon
life.
Prime has a lot of very bad movies on it.
Snoozing and sleeping still very
Well, they
important.
took all the Disney ones off, but
I put Thai food
they
on
do
here,
find
but I
some
don't
to
eat Thai
watch.
food very often
I
anymore.
think you can.
I
Do
still
some
like Thai
cool-
food.
Cool little watch-alongs. And
I've not done
I'll
any
skip over
watch-alongs yet.
food because I'm full right now. I just ate some grass. And move straight on to Detective Conan. That's
Here I talk about Conan
That's a
some
great
more.
show that you should watch. In
Oh, she's
in
giving
the form
poor
of
advice.
Not watching every episode like I did.
Okay, that's okay
There's
advice.
like 1,000 episodes, and all of them kind of suck. Well, not all of them. Like 100 of them at least are pretty good. But there's at least like 300 filler episodes, and they're all very bad. So I don't recommend watching those, but you should check out Detective Conan. I think I did a good job selling you
Poor
on that.
advice. Poor advice.
I'm sorry once again about Nightbot. Let me see if I can change the settings on it real quick.
I
don't know how that works, but let me see if I can just change
Nightbot is now dead. I think they might be gone entirely from the channel. Not, they're lying dormant, ready to ban some more people.
Alright, hopefully that helps. I disabled a bunch of random things. So either get spammed to hell and back, or you'll be able to post normally now. I'm not really sure which will happen there.
I think this was also around when the hate raid thing was really big, so I was also terrified that I was going
Let's
to just
catch
get
up on what's
destroyed
happening here.
at any moment.
Eating grass is a thing humans actually can do. Yoshi Horse, you should try it sometime.
Yoshi Horse
The
is
the
there.
human stomach can go
Sasuke,
through a lot,
hello?
and digesting grass is one of them. Yeah, as Cozy Beast.
I don't see myself ever getting
You just need to eat some grass sometime. You'll get
into
used to it.
One Piece.
Grass eating.
Humans can eat
If
grass.
that's against Twitch rules, then I'm gonna
It's a
get banned day
fact.
one. I'm sorry to everybody if that happens. I was honestly afraid I was gonna get banned for that eyewitness video. I stole that from the public library. Well, I borrowed it from the public library, and I'll give it.
You don't
back
have to
at
eat
some
my
point,
grass.
But I don't know the trademark situation of.
This bug has never told a
Education
lie
page
except about
entries.
Detective Conan.
Yeah, look, Serval Juke turned out great. Eating grass on the daily.
Shout out to Serval Juke.
All right, let me find my slideshow again. I've closed out of it.
Kinda turns him on so I will
Alright,
just
here
straight
we
up
are.
eat grass from outside.
I wanted
Holy
to put
shit,
together a slide
doinks.
saying my plans as a streamer. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. If that wasn't clear enough already. So
I
my
still
plan
don't know
right
what I'm
now
doing, but-
is to stream sometimes. I don't really know what else to do. I think if I stream enough, I can get that sweet Twitch money. So if I make it
Kristen,
there,
hello.
and y'all want to give me money, I don't know why you would want to give a bug girl money, but you can if you want to.
That is still
So
still
look
true.
forward
You
to
can
that.
give me money
Probably
if you
figure
want.
out some emotes in the future. I don't really know how to upload emotes or how to design emotes, but I'm sure they'll be good and they'll be worth paying real money for. I can.
They were? They're
guarantee
good.
it.
They're good emotes.
If you don't like stream, I'm sorry. That's kind of the only content I have planned right now, but maybe you'll come to love stream. If not, there's always other streamers who don't stream. Do I?
There are a
eat them?
lot of streamers who don't stream.
Sometimes, like a whole dollar bill is kind of a lot to eat, so I'll just like nibble a little off the corner, and that way I can still spend it on bug game controllers and bug video games. Bug video games are the same as regular video games, but they're a little bit smaller, so they're easier to put in your console. They cost a lot more, though. It's kind of a unfortunate situation for the bugs.
The heck is wrong with me?
Grass, cash, or
Why do I
grass.
do this?
That's
Thank you
exactly
for
right.
the $69 tip.
Sometimes I get
I always
Sandfight
forget
money,
that that's my tip
so
noise.
I've been trying to kick the habit lately, but If y'all start giving me money, maybe I can eat some on stream. More buttons equals more better. That's exactly right. I bought a little Stream Deck thing, and that has a lot of light up buttons on it. Like I can press this button to hide. And
Whoa,
just like that,
where'd
it's
she
gone.
go?
Like,
Wait, I don't
like it.
have that anymore. What?
Then I press it again, and there I am. It's
Why
it's
don't
like
I have
magic.
that
It's got
anymore?
a beautiful little light up button to do that.
Why don't
Have I ever played the arcade game Millipede?
I have
I'm
like
aware of
3
it. I think
buttons
it's
on my
kind of
Stream Deck I
offensive
actually
because
use.
it misrepresents
Bapton, hello.
millipedes. And it's also the
Spinach is not
sequel
real
to a
grass.
game
It's a
called
green, it's not
Centipede.
grass.
And really all they did
Imitation
in Millipede
grass.
was copy the Centipede back over from the original and called it a Millipede. So that's why it's so vicious, and attacking the town is it's actually a centipede. Don't believe the lies. Any thoughts about Buck Bumble?
Buck Bumble.
I think I knew what Buck Bumble was at some point. Is that the video about the rabbit who bounces around? Or is that Big Buck Bunny?
Oh,
They're the same thing, I think.
I will never stop making Big Buck
We need
Bunny
to print
jokes.
More bug copies of games to
Or whatever
make
the
them more
fuck that
popular.
video is called.
You'd think that with as many bugs as there are out there, there would be a bigger market, but a lot of bugs just don't have TVs. Apparently, I
Still haven't played
I
Buck
guess they just
Bumble,
don't
but it
down
is on my
side.
plan.
I prefer to stay at home and watch.
Playing games, made by Argonauts, developers of Croc and Croc 2.
It's the one with the
Croc
really
Game
good
Boy
speed
Color
in
and
the
Croc 2
garage.
Game Boy Color.
Yeah, you're talking about a Big Buck Bunny, right?
You
That-
might not
Yeah,
enjoy
it's got
playing
that really ugly bunny who likes to hop around.
it. The song is very good.
I think
Oh,
it's a new
Doinks,
Space Jam movie.
you've heard incorrectly. Want to see cock, you have to go
Just
to
like
my
bad
Twitter
movies, Or
page.
do you like bad games too? That's a matter of opinion. A lot of people say I don't value my time in the games I play, but
There's
be
some
playing
good
Croc
art
later
on the
today.
Twitter today.
in just a
I
minute.
don't have a
here,
Twitter command, but it's in the About
highly
page.
underrated gem of a game.
Ock Bumble? No.
As you'll see,
Tanuki,
beautiful
hello.
control scheme.
Mod Dominic, hello. There's
I
no
don't-
cock
I think
command.
people don't like Croc for some reason, but they just don't see the appeal.
No cock.
Okay.
No cock today.
Any questions? Here's my slide where I asked for questions. Oh, welcome back, Sizway. If Nightbot kills you again, it
Rock
was good to
Bumble.
have you here.
Hmm.
Any thoughts on Pac-Man 2? Ravi, you ask me this at least 3 times a day. It's getting kind of old. Like, Pac-Man 2 is fine. Like, I think Miss Pac-Man's there and she waves at you or something. I don't... Ricky could tell you more about Pac-Man 2 than I could. Now, Croc 2 is a game I'm not very familiar with.
I wish
so
I
maybe
had
can repeat
the
Croc. I
twitter.com/renem.
can check out Croc.
But some
2 if you
motherfucker
want.
has
I
ren_m.
think the big problem with Croc 2 is they changed the control scheme and it just doesn't.
I keep
feel the
thinking
same.
about DMing them.
Wow, we have
That's
a
gonna
raid.
make it
We have a
right.
raid from Wani Wasp. Thank you so much. This is my first raid. Thank you.
I got a raid.
Does
How
Pac-Man
exciting.
have a wife but is not a wife guy? I would say Pac-Man's probably not a wife guy. Like,
Pac-Man hates his
he does
wife.
the same job as his wife, but works at a completely different, like, little maze area. So I think it's probably Pac-Man is not a wife guy. I don't think he really appreciates.
I
what his
stand
wife
by
brings
this
to the
statement.
Family. Pac-Man is a male wife.
Pac-Man's
I'd say
not
that's
a wife
debatable
guy.
point.
His family was fucking erased
I don't-
from the
I don't really know what a
Pac-Man
male
World
wife is.
remake.
I know. Boy
Gone.
wives,
His
but
wife is
male
gone,
wife, I
his
think,
children are
is a little
gone,
Different.
his grandpa's gone.
All right. If there are no more questions, we can go ahead and check out some Croc Legend of the Gobos.
Now we're not gonna watch me
I used
play
to say
Croc,
Gobos,
because we'll play
but then
Croc later.
People laughed at me for not knowing how
Who's
to
the
say
wife
Croc
guy
Legend
of
the
retro
Gobos.
gaming?
So now I say it Croc Legend of the Gobos, but I still want to say Gobos, so if I slip up, I apologize.
I don't say Gobos anymore. That's
That
character
saying's out that
development.
Every great man has a great
Gobbo
wingspan,
time.
whatever. That's Pac-Man.
We'll do a green Gobbo. That's more character development. The green Gobbos were birthed from my birthing canal.
Pac-Man kind of rolls around.
Get
doesn't
the
he?
fuck
Like,
outta
sometimes
here,
he has
Live
lights,
2D.
but
Suddenly Live 2D is
I
showing
don't
me
know what
all
I'd
of the
consider
messages
Pac-Man
again, and I
as a
don't know
guy.
why. Is Solid Snake a wife guy? I
Alright,
feel like
people-
Snake would cheat
people
on
wanna
his
bring on
wife.
the Crocs. Let
He's a
me-
husband
let me
guy more than
change
anything.
OBS scenes here. I think I put this
wife
on the
guy of
Steam Deck.
gaming.
It should be good to go.
Jesus. Retro
okay.
game.
Okay, I think we're good to go. So let's boot up the old bug PS2.
Mario. I think Bowser's a wife guy. Bowser's definitely a wife guy, right? Oh my god, that's loud. Okay, no more of that. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, let's oh god, I pressed stop on the music. Mario is a please bang my wife guy. You might be right about that. I don't want to speak for Mario on his thoughts about cuckolding or upholding the peace, but I think he might be into it. Let's see. Should we do some marshmallows? Or should we do... Oh, the tier list. We can do the tier list. But first, I'm pausing the music again to show something. Let's see here. I will try not to show porno on Twitter as I open up this tweet. Let's see. Oh god, it's the lowest quality imaginable. Let's hope it renders. Or whatever the word I'm looking for is. Let's see. I want a window capture. Don't. 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 What? What? And there. Okay, so here's the first video I ever uploaded to Twitter prior to my stream ever happening. I would never pretend to be a computer. That's stolen valor. Oh my god, why is it in fucking 3P? Okay, it's coming around, it's coming around. Okay, here it is. It's very loud. It's very low quality for some reason. Can the text even be read? I don't know. But there she is. This was also a very annoying bit to do because I had to fucking install hey, I forget the name of the Python visual novel library. But I had to install that. Yeah, RenPy. And then I had to fucking put all the PNGs in, and the music was kind of annoying and the way it was going. It was more work than it should have been for this stupid bit. It's still pretty good though. Some good open source music here. What a stupid video. Okay, let's do the tier list. 1 second while I pull that up. How long did it take to come up with Croc as the mascot? It was never really planned, I don't think. I just knew that at some point I wanted to stream Croc because it was a silly game I played a lot as a kid. And then it just kinda... So it was in the video, and then since it was the first stream game, you know, it just kind of happened. It ended up happening this way. We got Croc out the wazoo now, I'd say. Let's do a tier list. Okay. That... I need to use studio mode more often so I don't constantly dox myself. See. Okay. Make this a little bigger. Whoop. Okay. Here it is. The tier list. This was another thing that was kind of annoying to do because I had to make all these images. And I did Croc first because I just went down the list in order I'd played them. I was like, oh, I'll adjust the text size to fit the box based on the length of the title. But after doing one of them, I decided that was annoying, so I just stayed at one text size for the entire thing. And it turns out that text size is way too small, so you can barely read it. But you know, it's fine. So the way I was thinking I would do this is first do just a tier list, ranking these as video games, and then use the alignment chart feature to create an alignment chart of how miserable it was and how I enjoyed streaming it. So like difficulty and how it was to stream. 2 levels of misery, if you will. But first, let's just do the normal tier list. First, we're just going to put Croc in S tier. Wonderful video game. I think it holds up pretty well. I forgot to play the music again. Let me turn that on. Okay, yeah, so Croc, you know Croc's a perfect game. I was trying to think before the stream if there was any reason not to put Croc in S tier. But honestly, I can't think of any. It's just a good game. Some might call it an average platformer, or annoying to play because of the tank controls, but they're wrong. They're simply incorrect. It's a great game. There's a button to turn around. Every game should have a button to turn around. So I played PlayStation Croc. I haven't played the Saturn version much, but I am aware of a glitch in the Saturn version that was unpatched, I think, for all of Europe. So they just left a note on the game saying how to avoid the glitch. But the glitch is Croc loads in headless. So you get horrific Croc imagery, which is definitely a plus if you're into that sort of thing. But I think a PlayStation controller might be a little more suited to it. I do plan on streaming Saturn Croc at some point. Ilya, hello! Aria of Sorrow, I'm also gonna say S tier video game. One of my all-time favorites. Yeah, it's just real good. I don't have much to say about it other than you should play it if you haven't. Real good video game. Yeah, we're getting ahead from Croc. Now, Billy Hatcher. This is a tough one. I'll try not to let too many of my feelings towards its difficulty get in the way of my ranking, because that will go in the alignment chart version of this. Billy Hatcher had some good ideas, but it was also horribly frustrating, and I would say Billy Hatcher, yeah, I'm gonna say a high C. High C the drink for Billy Hatcher. I can see why people would have really enjoyed having it as a kid, but I don't think it holds up particularly well, unlike Croc Legend of the Gothos. Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, that song will haunt me for the rest of my life, so that's something. I really like the remix in the final boss, where it's like a dark version of the theme. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Castlevania 3. I have to consider its age. I think it's a good game, but the Alucard route was fucking terrible. Giantegg. I said that wrong, but I don't know how to say words. Some retro heads may hate me for this, but I'm gonna put Dracula's Curse in B tier, considering that I only played the Alucard route, which has the falling block level, which is the worst level I have ever experienced in a 2D platforming video game. And Alucard was just kind of fucking useless. But as a video game, pretty fun, very difficult. I'm gonna put it there. Dirge of Cerberus. BB, hello and thank you. Dirge of Cerberus would have definitely landed in D or even a new F tier. I still have to play 1, and 2 seems wacky, so I'm afraid to play it. Yeah, Dirge of Cerberus would have gotten D or F tier. Probably D, because, you know, the gameplay's not bad. The cutscenes are unbearably bad. Nothing fucking happens in it, and it's told in a way that it's incredibly difficult to follow the plot, and if you didn't go to an optional island accessible only by Chocobo and bring Vincent Valentine there, you don't understand who Lucrezia is or why she's so important to Vincent. But the last hour of the game was fucking perfect. Unbelievably good. So, after thinking long and hard, I think the only suitable option is to add a new tier, a G tier, a GACT tier. And I think everyone can be happy with that. Escape from Bug Island. I wonder if anything else will be in GACT tier. Place your bets now. Escape from Bug Island. I know many people were watching it and thought it looked like a bad game. And don't get me wrong, it's kind of a bad game. But it's also very charming. It has horrible characters. You hate all of them. They fucking suck. The gameplay consists of swinging the Wiimote a lot and throwing oranges at things. Sorry, throwing rocks at things to get oranges. That's how it worked. They did a time loop thing so they didn't have to design as many levels. But, all things considered, it's a pretty fun game to play. Like, I give a lot of slack to games from this era that are just kind of fine, but they try things. And this was like a Wii launch title almost. It sure tried its best. Except in the spots where it really didn't try at all. So I'm gonna put it in a B tier. Love Billy Hatcher. We gamers make do. So true. Heard many legends about the Wiimote. Fear, the video game. I'll be honest, I was expecting to like Fear more than I did just because I've heard really good things about it. I think it's like a pretty solid video game, but like the last level or two kind of fall flat, and I think the spooky elements of the game, if they were ever good, aged pretty poorly. We did talk about fleshlights. Had Chet from accounting in it. But it was still a fun shooter, and the slow-mo was cool. The guns were cool. You had that cool laser gun thing. I'm gonna put it above Dracula's Curse, but it will stay in the B tier. I'm gonna rank Klonoa 1 before Klonoa 2, because, of course, it's only right to do that. Yeah, the skeleton gun, that's right. That was good as hell. I am rubbing my eyes. I wonder what happened to Chet from accounting. I hope he's okay. Okay, Kaze no Kuronoa. Kuronoa. So this is the first Klonoa game for the PlayStation. It's pretty good. I think I don't like it as much as other Klonoa fans might. I like that the story is insane and gaslights Klonoa into thinking his grandfather was killed and that he has a bunch of friends, when in reality he's not. He doesn't know any of these people. I think that's pretty cool. Gameplay, pretty fun. I think some people like really like Klonoa though. Like they fucking they like cry at the game. I didn't cry at Klonoa. I thought it was fucked up. But it is a really good game. The 2.5D could have been a little more heavily utilized. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I think it belongs there. There are girl bosses in Klonoa, especially 2. 2 has the real girl bosses in it. Klonoa, the creature. Yeah, buy the Klonoa remasters. They seem pretty good from what I've played. And they correct some problems from the original, even if they do things I don't like in return. Matthew Perry loves Klonoa for the Wii. God, Klonoa Beach Volleyball. I have to decide when I'm gonna play that. I also want to check out the Klonoa Action RPG that the fan translation finally got finished for. I'll think about it. I assume it's multiplayer, so maybe it's a collab game. I don't know. Klonoa 2. Going in to starting Klonoa 2. So I'd never played Klonoa 1. I had Klonoa 2 as a kid. Teen, maybe. I forget when exactly I got it. I think I got it from a garage sale. I really liked it. And playing the original Klonoa, I was thinking, I like Klonoa 2 more than this. But on replay, I think it is not quite as good. It's longer, it's more fleshed out. I like the characters more. Gameplay is a little more puzzle-based, which I like. The more I talk about it, it's pretty much just as good. So I'm gonna say just below Klonoa 1. It has the Klonoa character song, which is incredible. It's a pretty good game. The difficulty is a lot lower, which is maybe why it ends up slightly below Klonoa 1. But the characters are real cute. You've got Leorina, absolute girl boss. What's her name? Kind of a girl boss. And you have the sad guy. It's like a weird Klonoa. Seemed alright. Pretty good. I've talked myself into it. It is better than Klonoa 1. Mockin' X. I'm mocking the pizza. Mockin' X is a pretty cool video game that is incredibly flawed, has countless problems, but it's also weird and actually pretty fun for the most part. I think it belongs just above Escape from Bug Island. I think B tier is a good spot for games that are far from perfect, but do some fun things. Weird things. Super Mario Brothers. The original Retro Bug Challenge game, which I finished in 2 streams instead of the like fucking 18 that Castlevania 3 took. I think this game's pretty good. It's Super fucking Mario, baby. Honestly, when I played Super Mario Brothers as a kid, I never really liked the original as much as 3. Yeah, we're done with Castlevania 3, Hoskan. It's over. It's fucking gone. It's gone forever. I think I would still probably like Super Mario Bros. 3 more than Super Mario Bros., but can't argue that Super Mario Bros. Is just a good-ass game. You can watch the, my Clips channel. There's the video of me beating the final boss, or you can watch the archive, Hoskan. Many options to be had. Super fucking Mario, baby. I'll play 3 at some point. You were there? What? Why don't you remember? I would just like to point out how fucking good this song is. This is the orchestral version of Disco from the Shin Megami Tensei 2 soundtrack. And it fucking bangs. Metal Gear Solid, the Game Boy Color one. I had to put that there to remind me that I didn't play Metal Gear Solid, I played Metal Gear Solid for the Game Boy Color. Very jealous of people who can stream Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation. Much better game, honestly. But Metal Gear Solid Game Boy Color, pretty cool game. I haven't played the original Metal Gears, but the small amount I've seen, it seems like it is a pretty good sequel to 2. They add some things. 2 is already like establishing a lot of the formula that would go on to Metal Gear Solid, and this felt like a good continuation of that. It's like a mix of old and new Metal Gear, if you will. And the fact that it's a Game Boy Color game is pretty fucking impressive. The music is awful. I thought about the music and I remembered it's really not good. But I would say, as a video game, it's high B tier. It's pretty frustrating at times, but I would recommend to Metal Gear fans that you play it. Mr. Mosquito. The original Bug game, I think. I think this was the first of the Bug games I played. Has to be, right? What are the other Bug games? You have Escape from Bug Island. There should be one other, right? What was the other Bug game? I've definitely played more than 2 Bug games, right? Oh, I played Spider the video game and Bug exclamation point, but because I didn't finish them, they're not on this list. Okay. Mr. Mosquito is a game I actually ended up enjoying a lot more than I expected. Like, I thought it was just a weird, horny PS2 game, but it's actually really fun, and aside from having to fly around and collect very tiny things to get health, I actually really enjoyed it way more than I was expecting. I'm gonna give that a low A. Momodora! Reverie Under the Moonlight. I don't think Klonoa's a bug, he's a wahoo. He's a wing wag wung. One of the good horny games. They're out there. Momodora Reverie in the Moonlight. Pretty good game. It's one that I wanted to play for a long time before streaming and finally got to it while streaming. It's like, it was too hard, but also I played on hard, which you're not supposed to do for your first playthrough. The game tells you that. As a Metroidvania, I think the Metroidvania elements could have been better. But I thought the atmosphere was very good. I'm gonna give this... I enjoyed it more than Castlevania 3, so I'll put it... I'll put it here. A Castleroid, yes, a Castleroid, which sounds like a horrible thing to happen to your ass. And not stopping with the Castle Crashers, Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. This was a pretty cool game. It's a cool variation on the Castlevania formula. Shanoa, not to be confused with Klonoa. Very cool woman, based on Igarashi's wife. Oh, you think you're funny fucking flipping the fucking millipede, huh? Ah! Thank you for flipping the bug. Order of Ecclesia. I don't really know where to put this, if I'm being honest. I think it's a cool game. It's not as good as Aria of Sorrow, This I can say. I don't know where to put this. I liked it. I feel like the areas were kind of uninspired. The plot wasn't great, but that's every Castlevania game. I'm gonna put it low A. Below Mr. Mosquito. The Ratchet and Clank games are next. I really wanted to just replay these on my channel because I played the shit out of them as a kid and they were some of my favorite games ever. But playing them as an adult, I can see a lot more of the flaws that I didn't really see as a kid. The humor has aged very poorly. And I don't know, they're just not as fun as I remember them being. They're still fun, but not as much as I thought they were? I don't know how to describe it. It's like I played them so much as a kid that my expectations were higher than they should have been, even though I knew exactly what the game was. Makes me want to put original Ratchet and Clank High C. I think going Commando... It's a good game, don't get me wrong. It's a good game. I'm gonna put it above Metal Gear Solid. Just because my heart cannot handle putting it below any of these games. Even if some of them are probably better video games. RC Helicopter was a 2-hour video game which you pilot an RC helicopter. Controls were very bad. It's like if Mr. Mosquito wasn't good. It has some funny moments, but probably not worth actually playing the game for. I'm gonna say RC Helicopter, D tier game. I've played it twice. I've played the whole game twice in my life. Start to finish. Because it's 2 hours long. But it's not that good, if I'm being honest. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase goes below RC Helicopter. This is not a good game. It's not. The Sniper 2 goes below Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. The funny cutscenes are very funny. The story's a complete fucking mess. But it's just miserable to play. I did not enjoy playing it at all. Objectively bad video game. Even if the cutscenes are fun, I just hated playing it. And at some point, I have to go back to it to get the good end. Absolute banger of a video. Trauma Team! This is another game I really fucking enjoyed as a teen. Trauma Teen. And I gotta say, I still really enjoyed it. Ours, hello, and thank you. I would say Trauma Team. Extremely good game. Kind of weakened by endoscope segments, which were not good, Desoa.
Rock solid.
It had Ink motherfucking Freebird, which is the coolest man alive. It had the lady who could see ghosts for some reason. It had the lady who could talk to the dead for some reason. It had Spike Spiegel in it. It had a prisoner who was operating to reduce his prison sentence. And then it had the endoscope lady. And I think the diagnosis segments weren't the strongest either, but Still an A tier video game. Rock solid video game. God, the Shin Megami Tensei 2 soundtrack is very good. Unsighted is a video game. Yeah, the butterflies spread a deadly disease that killed many people and almost got Portland, Maine blown off the fucking face of the earth. I'm applying chapstick. Yeah, just like Pupa, man. That's exactly how I describe Trauma Team. It's just like Pupa. Unsighted. I liked the game. I did like the game. The time element was a cool idea, but it also made the entire thing kind of fucking miserable. And it had mechanics I didn't particularly enjoy besides that. There are ways around most of the bad mechanics, like you can disable the time thing. You can equip something so you don't have to go back to your corpse to collect your money. I thought the plot and characters could have been a little bit better. It was fine. And I would recommend playing it, but for some reason, I would say it goes there. I just realized I don't have... what's it called? The Legend of Zelda video game that I played. Minish Cap. Why don't I have Minish Cap here? What the fuck? What? Where is it? Why isn't it here? Minish Cap would go here, next to Billy Hatcher. I didn't love it, but it was a video game. Yeah, it's definitely a better New Game Plus thing, I think. I guess Zelda was on a different tier list we did, so it's fine. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. The soundtrack's good. The rest is not. Come on, move RC Helicopter. And that'll do it, I think. There are probably other games that aren't here if the fucking... I don't know what happened to Legend of Zelda, so this whole thing is a fucking sham. I don't... We're gonna do the alignment chart now. Zoom out a bit. So we're gonna make this axis, we'll say miserably hard, ooh, easy. This will be fun to stream. This will be I hate my life. And we're just gonna plop these on real quick. Oh, how does this work? Okay, Aria of Sorrow. Very fun game. Not that hard. Possibly because I've played it several times, but it's a good stream game. Billy Hatcher, definitely in the miserably hard territory, but it was a pretty good stream game. The completely unfair levels made me enjoy it as a stream game. Croc, it's a hard game. As a stream game, it's not the most interesting thing, but you know, it's around here. I'm gonna put Billy Hatcher a little higher as it is the hardest video game ever made. Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. I'm gonna... Oh god, okay. Well, that's about where it goes. Billy Hatcher is the hardest video game ever made, but Castlevania 3 is a bit harder. So maybe I should good stream game, horrible, awful to stream, because Castlevania 3 was miserable to stream, but it made for good content. And aside from this part where I was on the final level and ended stream and cried because I was never going to fucking beat the video game and I was annoyed with chat, it's a pretty fun game to stream, I think. Dirge of Cerberus. Horrible, awful game to stream. It's pretty easy too. Exactly. You have the good suffering and the bad suffering. Dirge of Cerberus had a few funny moments, but the cutscenes were so fucking boring. Nobody cared. And the gameplay's not like that exciting to watch either. It wasn't a very difficult game, but that was fine. Escape from Bug Island. I'd say there were a lot of segments of just kind of wandering around, so maybe I'll put it here. Fear. Oh god, this thing doesn't work as well as it should. Fear was a pretty good. What if I just put that in the middle? I don't know how interesting, like, a good first-person shooter from this era is to watch. This was also when I wasn't as comfortable with having silence on my streams. So there was a lot of downtime where I didn't really know what to talk about. I would say it was just right difficulty-wise. I'm gonna put it right in the middle. Klonoa 2. I did say it was too easy. I'm gonna put it here. I'll tell you why, because Klonoa 1 is gonna go here. And I think the fact that Klonoa is a shorter game and has the whole gaslighting plotline makes it a little more enjoyable to stream and to watch. Mach-N X. I'm gonna put this in the not great to stream category because the plot is very hard to follow, and I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more off stream. It's a good game, but with the branching plot lines and the weird monologues that make no sense, not the best game to stream. It does have the President of the United States, which brings it up quite a bit from this territory, from Dirge territory. It was difficult, so I'm gonna put it a little higher. Super fucking Mario. Everybody loves to watch Super fucking Mario, right? I'm gonna put this here. Metal Gear Solid Game Boy Color. I'm gonna put this here. This was exhausting to stream. You had to talk so much because the dialogue wasn't voiced, unlike Metal Gear Solid. It was a pretty hard game also. Like I put it in B tier, so obviously it's a good game. It's a good game. But as a game to stream, very long cutscenes I had to read. And the difficulty and having to restart a lot of the time and wandering around in a box factory for several hours. I'm gonna say it belongs here. Mr. Mosquito. Why I not bring this in front of you? Mr. Mosquito. Good stream game. It was difficult, but not horribly so. I'm gonna put it right between these two. Momodora. Very difficult. Not really in a miserable... Well, okay, there were a few times I was miserable. But I think the difficulty made for a fun stream. The numbers weren't particularly high, which makes me wonder how much people enjoyed watching it. I'm gonna have it like around here. Order of Ecclesia. Everything's ending up in this area, which I guess is on brand for me in that I always end up playing games that are kind of miserable. It's definitely harder than Croc or Mr. Mosquito. I'd say maybe not as good to watch. I'm gonna put it here. Kind of flying through this because I don't know how interesting this alignment chart is. Ratchet and Clank going commando. I'm gonna put this here. I know I'm streaming like the whole series, which makes you wonder why would I put it in the not great to stream quadrant. But you see, I don't have an answer to that. Ratchet and Clank 1. Worse to stream, but it is harder. I'd say probably just right on difficulty. The cutscenes honestly detract a lot, and again, I have a hard time judging what people actually like to watch as far as gameplay goes, because I have my own preferences, obviously. But I don't know how engaging the gameplay is to watch. RC Helicopter. It was short. It wasn't that hard. I'm gonna put it there. I would recommend streaming RC Helicopter to your audiences, apparently. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. I felt miserable sometimes because of the final boss especially. I'm gonna put it here. The Sniper 2. Pretty good stream game. Pretty miserable and difficult because of the game design. Trauma Team. This is a story-heavy game, which makes it not all the way over here, but I'd say it's pretty good. I would say it does gravitate a little towards too easy. There are no like S missions, or oh, they're called X missions, which are like the super hard missions the earlier games had. But pretty good game. Unsighted. I'm gonna put this here. It was miserable to play at times because it was the most stressed any video game has ever made me, I think. Aside from maybe Castlevania 3. The time system made it very difficult to enjoy streaming it, and I was scared and stressed the whole time. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. The counterpart to Dirge of Cerb. Also incredibly hard. I never would have beaten it without a Pocket Station. And it's just a card game, so I don't know how exciting of a stream it is. It was mostly me just going through a dungeon over and over and dying. That's true. Trauma Team has some good girls, and they know it. They act so different on screen. That's it. That's the chart. What was the other thing I was gonna do before Croc? That's right, it's marshmallow time. What's the best way to do this? How does it look if I just drag them in here? Yeah, I think I can just, cut some of this down and we'll be fine. Thank you for submitting marshmallows, everybody. Alright, and I am gonna return to being unflipped. And go... here? Yeah, that works. Marshmallows, you gotta get the big ones for them to be enjoyable to eat, because otherwise there's just like too much flour on them, or whatever it is they coat them with. Alright, so let's just start from the first marshmallow I received. Marshmallow is a question-asking website in which you ask questions. To where, and because it was designed for Japanese audiences, it has this very annoying feature where WordWrap will just cut any word in half. Anyone they want. Which makes for having G itchy. Okay, so first marshmallow I received. Having wet socks all day or wearing and having itchy wool sweater armpits for all day. I don't quite understand what itchy wool sweater armpits are, as I don't wear many wool sweaters. But having wet socks is miserable, and if your feet are wet for too long, you might get gangrene. And itchy armpits aren't the worst thing in the world. My armpit shavers in the chat will agree. So I'm gonna say, I'm assuming that's what this is asking, which one I would rather have. And I would rather have itchy wool sweater armpits. Thank you everyone for tuning in to that debate. Next we have, can you Dougie? No, I cannot. Hi Ren, what's your favorite thing about Croc? He's just a cute little guy, you know? He waddles, he makes silly sounds, he has a little backpack. Gus, hello! Yeah, Croc is just a little guy, and he's perfect in every way. So Croc is my favorite part of Croc. Do you like having a million gajillion legs? Seems like it'd be troublesome to me. It is troublesome. It is troublesome. I don't really like it very much. Thanks for reminding me. Next up we have, what's your favorite / ideal kinds of video game? Favorite / ideal kinds. I've always been a JRPG player. Because they're difficult to stream, I don't really stream JRPGs, but that's still probably my favorite genre of video games. And that's like really the dominant category of what I play outside of streaming games. That's kind of the nice thing about streaming is I almost just always end up playing JRPGs otherwise because, you know, they're very easy to play. Gay RPG, maybe you're... Sorbin 2, thank you for the follow. Alright. Dungeon encounters of the third kind. Dungeon encounters, yeah, okay, let's go back to that real quick. Dungeon encounters is my ideal video game. That and Etrian Odyssey. Those are incredibly fucking good videos. Highly recommend. Okay, next up we have feet pics? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Nope. Unless you're sending them to me, that's fine, I guess. Hey Ren, what's the objectively worst game T-Hat you really like? Happy anniversary. Objectively worst game. When do I play the DS Etrians? What do you mean? I play them sometimes. I don't think they're good to stream at all, but oh my god, it's so much louder now that the album has changed. What is playing, actually? This is... Oh, this is the Maken X remix soundtrack that I have and have never listened to in my life. I think this is an official album, but I could be wrong. It is called Maken X remix soundtrack L'Image. L''image. L'Image. Oh, objectively worst game that I really like. This is a tough one. I feel like it's gotta be a JRPG, right? This is a tough one. Maybe I should have thought about these ahead of time. Maybe. Objectively worst game that I really like. Let me check my Steam playtimes real quick. The Maken X soundtrack is really good, so I'm glad there's a remix album for it. Thinking ahead for iOS for the birds and you are a bug. Oh, is for the birds. I see. Yeah. God, this is such a hard question. What the fuck? Why'd you ask a hard question? What's that all about? Oh, okay. Okay. I have gotten my answer. Honey Pop. How heavy are the gobos on you? Each one's about 5 pounds, and if they're on my face, it is excruciatingly painful. Next question. Do you like when girls blow wind in your face? I don't know if this is referring to farting. If it's referring to farting, then no, I do not enjoy that. But if it's just like a girl blowing on my face, I guess that's fine. I don't have a strong opinion about that. It says blow wind! That's what farting is. Is this like a common thing? Girls blowing on your face? That seems fine, I guess. Hey, blow fans Breaking Bad reference. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd have. It'd be fine if a girl blew on my face, I guess. Yeah, exactly. A fetishist would describe it as blowing wind. I think it is, in fact, that. But, I don't know, as long as it's not in my eyes, I guess. If it's just blowing, it's fine. Which more fire, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, 30 Years War or the Northern Teutonic Crusades? I'm gonna look up what these two are because I don't know. 30-year war, not 30-year mortgage rates. 30 Years' War. Generally considered to be one of the most destructive wars in European history. Okay. And Northern Teutonic Crusades. Not corsages. Crusades. Christian colonization and Christianization campaigns. What was the 30 Years' War about? Okay, it was also a religious type war, but I think slightly less so than the Crusades. Also, destroying Europe is always a good thing. So I would say probably 30 Years' War. 30 Years' War depopulated Germany in a way it never recovered, so it's fire AF. Good to know. I agree with the people. 1,000 reasons that centipedes are exactly like millipedes. You think this is some kind of fucking joke? Just play with me. It's like this. It's funny. My voice is going out. What the hell? This is a good remix album. How many video games do you have? Do you collect them for archival purposes or just like H adding stuff? Hold on, I'm gonna cough real. I'm back. I don't know if the cough helped. I don't think it did. How many video games do I have? 5 shelves worth. And do I collect them for archival purposes? No. I just enjoy having things to put on a shelf. I'm not really a collector per se, and that if a game is too expensive and I'm not that interested in it, I'm just gonna pirate it. But things like Xenosaga I own physically, which are a little expensive, just because I wanted them, and I like having things. Top 3 songs you would love to remix. Let's see. Crazy Frog Axel F. Super Mario Brothers theme. Penis music. I don't have a real answer to this because I do not remix music and I have not thought about this. Okay, so this one I included because I wanted to point out that there is such a thing as a bad and stupid question. Why'd you ask this, fella? Why'd you ask this? Let's move on. Best JRPG with Mary Magdalene from The Bibble in it. What a great spot to line break. You know, I haven't played much Xenosaga. I played the first game, but not the second and third. I know this is in reference to Xenosaga, but never spoil Xenosaga for me or you will stoned and kicked. Where do baby millipedes come from? Stupid questions welcome, huh? I did welcome stupid questions, which probably resulted in that stupid question. Where do babies millipedes come from? Out of my birthing canal. What game has made the biggest impact on you? Oh, that's a good question. Impact. I feel like it's rare for media to have like a huge impact on me personally. I think they might, but I don't know. And I don't know if they do that with English questions or not. Biggest influence. Oh, impact. I guess it would probably be Final Fantasy IX, just because that's the game that got me into JRPGs, and it's still one of my favorites of all time. I don't really have another answer. I guess you could potentially say Super Mario Land for the Game Boy. Or no, Tetris, I think. I think Tetris for the Game Boy was the first game I ever played. Either that or Super Mario Land. I don't remember which. If you could kiss a shrimp passionately on its small, tiny shrimp lips, would you? Yoinks. Great question. I just don't really know. If it's a living shrimp, I guess I would. I guess. But like I would need consent from the shrimp, right? I feel like I would need that. But it does say could, would I? So, I mean, I guess I was attracted to the shrimp and the shrimp wanted a kiss, I would kiss the shrimp. Doinks. You're right, there are a lot of shrimp fans in chat. Hardmint, thank you for the wahoo. Are chicken wings a meal? I don't understand why this is a controversial question. They're a meal, obviously. Anything is a meal if you eat enough of it. If you want to eat a whole box of goldfish as your lunch, I can't stop you. And chicken wings have protein in them. It's not a healthy meal, but just eating a bunch of chicken wings, you'll get full pretty quick. And they're rather tasty. Let's move on. You cool as heck, thank you. What made you want to start streaming? 3 Tic Tacs is well, that might be where I draw the line. I don't know. I don't know if hard candy is a meal. Especially Tic Tacs. Don't eat enough Tic Tacs to fill you up. My opinion. I don't think you should do that. What made you want to start streaming? So I don't know if this is a common thing. I assume it probably is. But as soon as like streaming became a thing that people could make a living on, I would just like imaginary stream in my head sometimes while I play a video game. And I would think about things I would say about the video game if I were streaming the video game. And I never really planned on actually streaming despite that. Like, I tried it a couple of times just like before VTubing was a thing. But just like one-off streams, and I didn't love it. But then VTubing came around, And some people I know got into VTubing, and the idea of being an anime girl is pretty cool. So I did it, even if I wasn't really sure I would enjoy it. And here we are at a year. And I still don't really know if I enjoy it, but I do it a lot. Are there any cool bug-related stories that you have to share? One time, a grasshopper jumped onto me and I freaked the fuck out. One time, I lifted some clothes off the ground and there was a big old spider and I freaked the fuck out. One time, I saw a cicada and I freaked the fuck out. But if you were there for the stream where I talked about my recent road trip, you saw a bunch of caterpillars building cocoons, and that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool. Hello, Ren. What were your favorite games to play when you were younger? I feel like I've already answered this on this stream, but Final Fantasy IX, Ratchet & Clank 2, Aria of Sorrow. Those are definitely the ones I played the most of. A little later in youngerhood, Team Fortress 2 I played a decent amount of. And Trauma Center games, I guess. We'll go with that. Hey Ren, big fan ILU so much. If you were granted immortality with the caveat that you could only play one kind of game for the rest of time, what kind of game would you pick? I feel like JRPGs are the easy choice here. And like, you wouldn't really run out of JRPGs. They're long enough that you can get a good amount of entertainment out of them, and they'll keep being made. But modern JRPGs aren't always my cup of tea. Sometimes they are, but not always. But like, Final Fantasy 16, I look at that game and it does not interest me. I might still play it, I don't know. But there should always be like turn-based games coming out. Is that the only game I want to play for the rest of time? Yes. I'm not competitive enough to play a competitive shooter type game for eternity. Rhythm games are fun, but they destroy my body. I can only imagine like 300 years worth of arthritis would be much worse than the current pain I experience playing too many rhythm games. So yeah, I think JRPGs are the easy choice there. I guess visual novels would be the runner-up perhaps, because, you know, but I could just read a book if I really wanted a story. I could read a light novel, and that's basically visual novel. You know, it's fine. Only have a few left. Can humanity survive if it rains raw eggs everywhere in the world for 3 solid days? VR. You have to be a little more specific, because VR games can be any game, theoretically. So you could say VR chat ERPing. Can humanity survive if it rains raw eggs everywhere in the world for 3 solid days? Rainfall severity is basically an average day in Scotland, but instead of rain, it's eggs. Instead of Scotland, it's planet Earth. Humanity can survive a lot of things. I think some poorer areas would probably suffer quite a bit from raw eggs raining into their water sources. But I think in wealthier areas, such as the United States, in parts that have governments that slightly care about their water quality, some places be okay, I think. It'd take a while to recover. It'd be gross. I wouldn't want to clean up all those raw eggs, but you know, we'd make it. If it was like 30 days of raw egg raining, that might be another story, but I think this would be just fine for some people. What's a game/movie that everybody loves, but you can't stand? I think like Marvel and Star Wars and other series like that are the obvious answers, but I think people are starting to turn around on those and think they kind of suck too. I wouldn't say I can't stand earlier Star Wars movies. I'm just not huge on them. Game/movie everyone loves, but you can't stand. Huh. I'll try to think of one for each of these. Video game. Video game. Video game. Let's see here. I would probably say Danganronpa. Danganronpa's weird in that I didn't really dislike it while I was playing it, but I never finished it because my opinion on it just got more negative. And now it's one of those games where even though I don't think it's that bad, hearing people talk about how good it is reinforces that I didn't really like it that much. And I'm not a big fan of things where people die violently for no reason. I haven't played anything past like the first 2/3 of 1 though, so I don't know where the series goes. Please don't take offense at my answer. You can like Danganronpa just fine. Oh, Barry, what a time for a raid. Hello, Barry. Diaper boog. What is a diaper boog? I don't like that raid message at all. But Barry, thank you for the raid. How was Noitu? Noita? Noited? Oh, thank you for shouting out Barry. Oh, it's not diaper, it's dapper bug. Okay, maybe I should just end stream here. Okay, Barry, how is Noida? Hello, Raiders. Thank you. I'm Red. I'm a millipede girl. I'm Barry's VTuber sister. We were birthed from the same man. His brain. Dapper Bug. The Dapper Bug. Did you beat Noita? I hope you beat Noita. I don't think I would ever beat Noita. That game seems difficult. You did not beat Noita. That's okay. I love you, Barry. And it's okay if you don't beat Noita. But if you don't beat Enter the Gungeon, I'll be a little bit disappointed. Thank you for the raid. If you wanna go do something, go relax, go to sleep, feel free. And Raiders, hello. So I'm in the process of answering this. For game, I said Danganronpa with the justification that I don't think it's that bad of a video game. I just didn't like it that much, so hearing more and more about how much people like it made me like it less and less, and now I just don't really want to hear about it. Persona's in a similar spot in that I actually really like the Persona games. But for some reason, I just really hate them when I'm not playing them. Like, the more I hear about Persona, the less I like it. Even though I really like playing Persona games. Nobody even knows what New Carnival is except for fucking you and me and other fucking pervert ass Fujoshi. But yeah, if you like those things, it's fine. You can like those things. You can like those things. I don't care. I don't care at all. Barry is based Fujoshi scum. No, what are you talking about, Barry? I literally had like 3 questions before this where I talked about how much I like JRPGs. Why are you lying to the public like this? And I'm still trying to think of a movie. Let's see. People in chat put movies in that people like. I don't watch a lot of movies, so this one's hard. Fairy slander be like. It's not my birthday, Barry, it's my stream anniversary. I've never seen The Matrix, I've never seen Fight Club. The Room wasn't as mind-blowing as I was hoping, but I don't dislike it. Hereditary I have not seen. Persona 3 movie I have not seen. But that does raise a good... Okay. Here's a decent one. What's this called? Okay. This is barely a movie. It doesn't really count, but I guess that kind of showed up on screen. Whatever. 5 centimeters per second is an anime OVA type thing that I think sucks ass, and it's not good. People seem to really fucking like it for some reason. Okay, Billy, enjoy the food and shiz. Yeah, like anime movies are the easiest option here because they're the only movies I've seen because I'm a fucking idiot dork. Let me go to my analyst and look at the movies. Why am I not logged in? Good lord. Hold on, I'm logging in. I'm logging in to the fucking anime website. Don't worry. I entered my password wrong. This will go poorly. I'm entering a CAPTCHA, but my password... Oh, my password is right. How about that? The whiz robes are so rude in this game. Shin Megami Tensei? How do I see just movies? Filter. Format. Movie. Alright, let's see. Almost all of the anime movies I've seen are Detective Conan movies, which I think most people don't have a very strong opinion on. That's okay, Zorlander. Do I have anything else besides that? I have a lot of things I thought were mid. Like Tamako Love Story and Garden of Sinners, I think are mid. And Girl Who Leapt Through Time, I think is mid. And Arrietty, I thought was mid. And the Kaguya movie that Ghibli did, I thought was mid. But I don't know. I hope I answered the question. and lost all of my viewers for opinions. What is your stance on the fabled Bodega Cat S? Good question, anonymous asker. I love Ricky, but I don't know any other bodega cats. But I think a cat being in a bodega is pretty cool. I would get a little stressed out if I went to a shopping place that had a cat inside with my mom, because she would keep talking about how disgusting it is that there's cat hair everywhere. But I think it would be cute. It would just be a little stressful. And Ricky is my favorite person. So pretty good on bodega cats. My mom refuses to ever have a shedding animal, which I get, but she also just hates having shedding animals near her. Like if a cat jumps on a table, she's very disgusted by it. Does not want to consume their hair, which I guess is okay, but I think they're cute. And that was the last marshmallow, I believe. We'll check the website and make sure I didn't get any more. Joachim, thank you for the follow. Marshmallow. Okay, I got one more a few hours ago. The question is, do you lay eggs or give the egg? Thinking emoji. I don't understand the question, as I do not do either of these. So let's play some Croc 2. I'll probably just boot it up, maybe play the first level and then go on break, because I'm getting hungry. We'll take a break. But first we'll start up Croc 2, see what the situation is. Or we run